Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to historic Larks Park and the 75th anniversary season of Hayes Larks Baseball. Tonight's non-league contest features from the Mid-Plains League, the Junction City Brigade, and your Hayes Larks. The Larks are currently 12-3 on the season, 6-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. Free admission to tonight's game has been made possible through the generous sponsorship of Ozone Roofing, Redeemed Designs, and RD Graphics of Hayes. We greatly appreciate these generous people and their support of Hayes Larks Baseball. Now let's meet tonight's starters for your Hayes Larks. Leading off and playing second base, number 9, from the University of Nebraska, Core Jackson. Batting second, playing center field from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 12, Zach Henry. Batting third, the shortstop from the University of Tennessee, number 22, Cortland Lawson. Batting fourth for the Larks from Fort Hays State University, the left fielder, number 21, Grant Schmidt. Batting fifth, playing first base from Fort Hays State University, number 17, Cam Pearson. Batting third, from Kansas City Community College. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 4, Palmer Hutchison. Batting seventh for the Larks, the designated hitter from the University of Nebraska, number 5, Tyler Palmer. Tonight's A Street Liquor Beverage batter, batting eighth, the right fielder from Hayes, number 33, Dylan Triley. And batting ninth, the catcher from Butler Community College, number 25, Brock Loomis. Tonight making the pitching start for the Larks from Fort Hays State University, number 24, Hunter Parker. Ladies and gentlemen, in his 40th season with the Larks, please welcome the head coach, Mr. Frank Leo. The Larks pitching coach is Keith Hyper. The assistant coach is Max McGuire. Ladies and gentlemen, here for tonight's ceremony of first pitches, please welcome Daryl Gregg from RD Graphics, and William Ravel from Ozone Roofing. Give it a good toss, will you? All right, William Ravel. And now welcome Daryl Gregg. He burns one down the middle. RD Graphics, Ozone Roofing, and Redeem Designs, tonight's game sponsors.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 16 of the 2021 Hayes Larks season, their 75th anniversary season. This is game 1 of 1 against the Junction City Brigade. Hunter Parker getting the start for Hayes. This is start number 3 on the season. He throws 2 pitches and gets a ground ball to Palmer Hutchison. Throw across the diamond to Cam Pearson. In time, 1 up, 1 down to start the game for Junction City.
The third baseman, number 14.
First pitch comes in at 7:06 p.m. on a 77-degree day. Let's have a great night and enjoy some baseball. Up to the plate now is Bryce Ullman, infielder out of Oral Roberts University. It'll be his first look at Hunter Parker out of Fort Hays State University. Parker, a righty, gets an off-speed in the zone, swung on and missed. No balls and a strike to the second batter and the order for Junction City. From the windup, this one's fouled off and over to the right side, out of play. Parker is 6'1", redshirt junior from Fort Hays State, is a righty originally from the Colorado, Aurora, Arvada area, and has an 0-2 count against Allman, throwing 4 pitches all in the strike zone today. 5th pitch of the day, he's going to get Allman to go down looking, and Hunter Parker will pick up strikeout number 16 on the season and number 1 on the day. And we go to the 3-hole Gus Freeman, who actually played for the Larks last year at the NBC tournament. Larks in that NBC tournament started out great, won their first 2 games, beating the KC All-Stars 10-0, and then beating the Texas Lone Star Club 5-3. Then they lost to the winner in the winners bracket in the semifinals 2-1 to the Diamond Dogs. Then lost to the Monarchs 11-3, and that wrapped up their season. Gus Freeman's first look at Hunter Parker. Freeman out of Cali Community College. 2 Kansas guys that go to school in Kansas, facing off right now. Hunter Parker all hitting the zone here in this top of the first inning. The 0-1 to Freeman slider, and that's Hunter Parker's first ball thrown of game number 16 of the season. Larks have lost 2 of their last 3. We're on a 7-game win streak and lost to the Collegians 21-2 the next game against the Sox, and then lost last night 6-3. Parker misses the zone on this one. 2 balls and a strike to Freeman, who played catcher at Cali and caught for the Larks last year, but is getting the start at first base. 2 out, nobody on the top of the first. The 2-1 delivery swung on and grounded slowly over to the left side. Palmer Hutchison will make the grab, but it's in foul territory off of a couple bounces. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Hunter Parker is making his 5th appearance of the season on the rubber, has thrown 9 1/3 now, 16 strikeouts, 4 walks, allowed 12 hits, and has allowed 9 earned runs this season. Has a whip of 1.85. So Freeman will get his bat. One of the few guys in baseball that doesn't wear gloves when he comes to the plate. So must like the sting, but he has 2 strikes on him we'll have to protect. Hunter Parker from the windup, righty versus righty, the 2-2, a fastball grounded right at Cam Pearson, snags it off a bounce, and will tag first base. A 1-2-3 inning for Hunter Parker and the Larks. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. This is Carson Ackerman on the call. You're tuned in to Larks Network. Bottom of the first we go. Cord Jackson leads it off for the Larks. Taking first pitch ball here from Cade Phelps. This is Phelps' 3rd appearance of the season, his 2nd start for the Junction City Brigade. This is the first meeting between the Larks and Brigade in multiple years, and Cord Jackson will ground this one to Stewart at second base, and that's the first out of the bottom of the first. So to bring us to Zach Henry.
The center fielder from the University of Texas at Arlington, number 12,
Phelps
Zach
from Wellington, Kansas, was a first-team All-League pitcher at Buco this year. As a southpaw, that's a redshirt freshman. Has made 26 appearances in his career at Butler, and sends this one to Zach Henry. He takes it to the opposite side of the infield, picking up his graft and throwing to first. 2 up, 2 down for the Larks in the bottom of the first on 2 groundouts. That takes us to Cortland Lawson,
Number
And we're
22,
talking how
Portland,
Phillips
Lawson.
Zabuko is teammates with Brock Loomis, who's getting the start tonight behind the catcher spot. And let's take a look at that order for Hayes. Grant Schmidt is in left field, and he's on deck right now. But the order is Jackson, Henry, Lawson batting third, Schmidt batting cleanup, Cam Harrison batting fifth, Palmer Hutchison sixth, Taylor Palmer getting his first start at DH seventh, and then Dreiling and Loomis, the Hayes boys, round out the order. One ball and no strikes to Lawson, who's on a hot start to his season for the Larks. 2 straight balls to Lawson. Lawson in yesterday's game batted 7th and had 1 hit and 1 at bat. Scored 1 run, drove in 1 run, and also had 3 walks. Lions just won down the third base line. Allman reaches for it, but it'll be in fair territory. Phillips this last year for Butler had a 4.82 ERA, went 2-2, and it shows all of his appearances were in relief. Through 28 innings, 32 hits, 15 earned runs, 14 walks, and 20 strikeouts for the Grizzlies. Southpaw delivers home to Lawson, off speed outside, 3-1. Neither pitcher in getting the start today for the Larks or the Brigade has a record on the year. Phillips has thrown 10 innings, 11 strikeouts, still hasn't walked a batter, and has allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, as an ERA of 1.8. The hitters count delivery to Lawson, fastball over the outside part of the plate, and the shortstop from Tennessee has full counts. Lawson had his first appearance this last Friday and had a great day. Had 2 home runs, one of them a grand slam, also had a double, and has started all 3 of his appearances at the shortstop spot. This is the highest he's batted in the order, and will pick up his 4th walk in 2 days, and that is number 4 in the season. And he is aboard yet again. He's only been since the dugout once in the past 3 games.
Cleanup hitter, the left fielder from Fort Hays State University, number 21, Grant Schmidt.
So that takes us to Grant Schmidt. Schmidt batting cleanup today, playing in left field. Schmidt yesterday batted cleanup, went 0 for 4, but walked 2 times and scored 1 run in the 6-3 loss for Hayes against Colorado. And he's going to line his first pitch into right center field. Racing towards it is Jones. Lawson rounds second, heads into third. The throw will be cut off by Graft. And on the single from Schmidt, Lawson goes from first to third, and there's runners on the corners with 2 outs. So after 2 straight groundouts, Larks gets base runners on consecutive pitches, and that brings us to the 5-hole Cam Harrison, who just committed to Fort Hays State University from Cochise College.
Cam Harrison.
He's getting the start at first base after starting his past 2 games in left field. He has Hutchison on deck with Palmer in the hole for the Larks. Harrison yesterday 0 for 3, but had an RBI on a sacrifice fly in the first inning. Grounds his first pitch to Graff. Larks are swinging, and the throw to Freeman in plenty of time. Larks leave 2 on and get 1 hit and a walk. We go to the second inning, no score from Hays, Kansas. Top of the second from Hayes, Kansas. Leading off is the cleanup hitter, Joseph Kinneberg, the DH sporting number 32. Larks wearing their white cream throwback uniforms with the red letters on the front, blue numbers on the back, blue throwback hats with the red lettering. As for Junction, orange uniforms with the black sleeves and black numbers, road gray pants. Fly ball into center field, and all four of the batters for Junction have been out.
The left fielder, number 18, Jace Essig.
One-way base is empty as we go to Jace Essig, the left fielder from Emporia State University. His first look at Hunter Parker of the season. Emporia State and Fort Hays State play each other in the same conference, so these guys familiar with each other. And the first pitch is ground to Cortland Lawson, and we've seen a lot of guys swinging early. Just one strikeout, and every other ball has been put in play except for Cortland Lawson's walk. And Essig is down on one pitch. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the second. We go to the sixth hitter in the lineup, Grant Howard. Howard from Pitt State, another one of the MIAA teams. Junction City, a lot of JUCOs, a lot of D2 schools, most of them in the Kansas area, with the exception of guys from Oral Roberts and Western Nebraska, where Hunter Parker pitched before going to Fort Hays State. No balls and a strike to the catcher. Slider from Parker inside, 1 ball and a strike. Third pitch here home. Swung on, grounded down the left field or right field line and out of play. Hunter throwing a lot of strikes in this game. Guys are swinging but not making great contact. He's thrown 15 pitches, 11 of those strikes, gotten 3 groundouts and a flyout, and has started out every batter with a first pitch strike. Looks home, gets the signs from his catcher, Brock Loomis, and goes from the windup. The 1-2 delivery hesitates, and it's home and out of play. Duel for the Larks in the bottom of the second inning will be Pearson, Hutchison, and Palmer, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Larks lineup. Hunter Parker in his last outing through 2 innings. He has thrown 1 2/3 today in the 1-2 delivery. Grounded to the right side. Cam Pearson scoops it and hustles to first base and tags the bag himself. First and second inning for the Junction City Brigade. Each go 1, 2, 3 and ground out for the third out to Cam Pearson, where he tags the bag himself. And that'll end the top of the second. We go to the bottom half. Hayes and Junction tied. Cam Pearson will lead off the bottom of the second. Excuse me. Palmer Hutchison will lead off the bottom of the second for Hayes after Cam Pearson and grounded out. First delivery to Hutchison, inside delivery 1-0. Larks brought 5 hitters to the plate in the first inning. Jackson, Henry, and Pearson each grounded out. Schmidt singled and Lawson walked. Larks left 2 on base in that inning. The 1-0 to Hutchison out of KCK. Fastball low off the turf. 2 balls and no strikes from Cade Phelps. Phelps, in his first year at Butler, made 6 appearances in the shortened season, went 2-1 through 10 1/3, and then over doubled his innings pitch, almost tripled, and it did triple his appearances, and added 2 more on top of that in 2021. The 2-1 delivery to Hutchison, another JUCO guy from Kansas, outside 3-1 to Palmer. Palmer in yesterday's game batted 8th, went 1 for 3, and had 1 walk. Takes this one on off speed over the outside part of the plate, and Hutch has a full count. Tyler Palmer on deck with Dylan Dreiling in the hole for Hayes. Junction's defense straight up for the payoff pitch. The southpaw goes home. Outside delivery will catch the plate on some late movement, and the breaking ball will send Hutchison back to the dugouts. First strikeout out of the day for Cade Phelps, number 12 on the season.
Hitter from the University of Nebraska, number 5, Tyler Palmer.
That takes us to Tyler Palmer, the DH, getting his first starts back in action since that Friday game against the Game Day Saints. That was June 14th, 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, that was over 2 weeks ago. Just a tad, though. Hunter Parker pitched the Monday game against the Saints and is getting the start tonight. So it's been a minute since we've seen Tyler Palmer, but we're happy to have him back in the lineup. A great bat out of the University of Nebraska. When he's on the base bats, he's even more dangerous. It's a 1-1 count to the 6'1 freshman from Nebraska, and he has a 2-1 count. Palmer's played in 4 games now this year after getting injured. Has 2 hits, both singles, has scored 3 times. Lines this one to the Larks dugout. Sam Crowell reaches for it but can't get a grip on it. 2-2. One away in the bottom of the second. No score, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Palmer gets back in the right-hander's batter's box and will call time before Phelps can come home. Phelps, the only guy, one of 2 guys from Butler on the roster for Junction. 3-2 count to Palmer. Tyler from Columbus, Nebraska, set his high school stolen base record with 38 in his career there. And he'll get his payoff pitch here in Hayes, Kansas. Back-to-back Larks go down on strikes. Palmer swinging, Tyler Palmer swinging, Palmer Hutchison looking. 2 up, 2 down as we go to the 8 hole. The right fielder, Dylan Dreiling.
8th Street Liquor Beverage batter, the right fielder, number 33, Dylan Dreiling.
Dreiling got the day off yesterday, but on the season he's hitting .381 with an on-base percentage of .500 flat. First pitch slider comes in slow and he watches it. 0-1 count to the lefty, headed to Tennessee from Hayes, Kansas. Digs into the left-hander's box, and it's a lefty versus lefty matchup. 0-1, lunges forward, drops to his knee, and will foul it off. No balls and 2 strikes. Loomis on deck should the Larks need him in the 9 hole. Do it for Junction in the 3rd inning. 7, 8, and 9, the bottom of the order. Jones, Stewart, and Beiswanger. Third delivery, he checks his swing, and they will say did not go. Junction, every player on the field, all 9 of them, started to walk back to the dugouts. Instead, we'll have a 1-2 count. Job of Giraldi to hold up on his swing. His 8 hits, 6 of those singles, 1 double and a triple, had driven in 10 runs and scored 4 times. The 1-2 to Giraldi, just outside, 2-2 on the fastball. Hitter number 8 that the Larks have brought to the plate. They've had 3 straight go back to dugout, have 1 hit and a walk through 1 2/3 against Cade Phelps. Phelps yet to pick up a decision. Look for his first win today. The 2-2 delivery to Drowning sends it into center field. Beiswanger will not have to move and record out number 3. Larks go 1-2-3 in the second. We move to the third from Hayes, Kansas. No score. Top of the third, Hunter Parker back to the mound through 1-2-3 innings in the first and second, and throws his 7th first pitch strike here to Jackson Jones, the right fielder. Parker from the windup, pitch number 2 of the third inning, doesn't waste time. It gets blooped into left center field. Grant Schmidt takes a couple of steps and will make the catch for out number 1. 7 up, 7 down to get the game going for Junction City.
Jace Stewart.
Hunter Parker on the mound has some struggles against Game Day in his his second outing, and he came out early in that one, and since then it's been lights out for Mr. Parker. Has thrown 3 1/3 since then, just allowing 1 hit and striking out 5 guys. That doesn't include today's game when he's gone 2 1/3, striking out 1 guy. And has started off every batter today with a first pitch strike. That holds true for Jay Stewart, the second baseman, has an 0-1 count. Righty versus righty. Parker from the windup. Changeup, outside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 away, bases empty in the top of the third. Stewart batting 8th in the order. He's from Barn County Community College. Larks had a guy from there last year, and Jacob Enns, who played for Fort Hays as well. The 1-1 ground to the left side of Hutchison, and Lawson moved towards it. Hutchison's the one who will make the play, throwing across the diamond, and that is the second ground out to Palmer Hutchison through the first 2 2/3 innings. Takes us to the bottom of the order. Thomas Beiswanger, the center fielder from Butler CC. He's from Northwestern Oklahoma State. Misread my roster. First delivery to him is the first pitch ball, and it's a 1-0. Five-swinger this season, batting 163 through 57 plate appearances, has just 7 hits, but also has 12 walks, makes for an on-base percentage of .368. This one's lined right into the Larks' dugouts. Everybody dodges it, and it's a 1-1 count. Due for the Larks in the bottom of the third inning will be Brock Loomis at the bottom of the order, and then we'll go to the top, Jackson and Henry. Parker from the windup, fastball hit into left center field. Could it be the first of the game? Diving forward to Zach Henry, and he won't allow it. A great diving catch from Zach Henry, and that will save an extra base hit. And we go to the bottom of the third, and after the third 1-2-3 inning, no score from Hayes, Kansas. Bottom of the third, Brock Loomis laid it off for Hayes against Cade Phelps, his teammate from Bucco. And the first pitch to Loomis from his teammates, high and outside, 1-0. Loomis hadn't played, and yesterday's ballgame also got Friday off. His second delivery, changeup outside, 2 balls and no strikes to the catcher, batting .300 through 7 games. Lefty versus righty. Brock had this scouting report on Phelps. Will look to use it in this at-bat. The 2-0 swung on and hit out of play. 2-1. Loomis redshirted this past year for Butler Community College. He's originally from Hayes, Kansas. So 6'1" freshman, has 4 years of collegiate eligibility left. The 2-1 home from Phelps. Outside, Loomis chases it, takes a hard cut, and is down to a even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larks fans, make sure to subscribe while you're watching the game. Larks fans and non-Larks fans alike. Helps us out when we put these streams on for free, but it helps us reach a broader audience. And when we hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube allows us to stream from our website. The 2-2 to Loomis, hit into deep center field. Racing back is Byswanger after losing it for a second. Gets under it and will make out number 1. 4 straight Larks down. That's his second straight fly out to center field. And there's 1 away in the bottom of the third, and it's no score contest. Takes us to the top of the order, Cord Jackson, who grounded out to Stewart to start the bottom of the first.
Second baseman, number 9, Cord Jackson.
Phelps has now gone through the order 1 time, and in that has thrown 2 1/3, 33 pitches, 18 strikes, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. First delivery to Cord Jackson, reaches for 1 outside, sends it to Stewart, and 1 second baseman will ground out to the other, and there's 2 away.
The center fielder, number 12, Zach Henry.
I'll bring up Zach Henry for the Larks. Henry grounded out to Graft for out number 2 of the first inning. On deck is Lawson with Schmidt in the hole for Hayes. Phelps looks home, goes home. Howard slides to the right-hander's batter's box to block it. 1-0 count to Henry, who's right-handed but hits left-handed. Larks have quite a few guys to do that. The other guy, Cord Jackson, just hit in front of Henry, one of them. This one inside. Henry puts his hands up and takes it inside. 2 balls and no strikes to number 12. Henry, a 6-foot freshman from UTA, originally from Rockwall, Texas. A ton of athletic ability. Was a multi-sport athlete in high school and has a 2-0 count here in Hays, Kansas. Grounds this one to Stewart, sprints 90 feet, but will be thrown out by about 10 feet. Larks go 1-2-3 in the third, just like they did in the second. We go to the fourth, no score in a quick-moving ball game in North Central Kansas. Top of the fourth and top of the order for the Junction City Brigade. Hunter Parker returns the mound for inning number 4. First 3 innings took 35 minutes to complete. The first pitch he sends home to the shortstop gets popped over the right side. Dreiling and Jackson move towards it. And 2 guys who both just had a year in high school, Chase Ford and Jackson, who just graduated high school and is heading to Nebraska, will make the catch. Graff now 0 for 2 today with a ground out to Hutchison and a pop out to Jackson. One away, base is empty as we go to Prince Allman. He struck out looking against Hunter Parker, was his first and only strikeout victim of the day so far through 3 1/3. One away, this first delivery misses the zone, 1-0. Parker in the groove on the mound and his third start. The righty goes from the windup fastball off the plate, 2-0. Hunter Parker in his last outing went 2 innings, 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, and struck out 3. Came into this game facing 45 batters over 151 pitches, 100 of those being strikes. So it's ground to the left side. Cortland Lawson will get the shortstop spot, throw it to Pearson, reaches forward, and keeps his right foot on the bag. A nice stretch from Pearson on a throw that was a little off the mark, and there's 2 up and 2 down. Speaking of that defensive lineup, let's take a look at it here in the 4th inning. We got Grant Schmidt in left field, Zach Henry, the UTA Maverick, in center field. And we got Dylan Dreiling in right. Palmer Hutchison is in the hot corner with Cortland Lawson at shortstop. Ford Jackson at second with Cam Pearson, the Fort Hayes commit at first base. And then Barack Loomis, it's tonight's backstop. And then obviously Hunter Parker on the mound for Hayes. Top of the 4th, 2 away. After a pop-up and a ground-out, we go to Gus Freeman, the former Lark, and his first delivery. And this at-bat at Hunter Parker, he lines back at him, and that's the first hit of the game for Junction City. He's now 1 for 2 after grounding out to Hunter Parker. grounded out to Camp Pearson.
The designated hitter, number 32, Joseph Kinneler.
First base run of the game, Hunter Parker got the first 11 batters to go down off of 6 groundouts and 3 flyouts. 2 away, the first delivery here is slider outside to Joseph Kinneberg, the DH, who flew out to Zach Henry for out number 1 of the second inning in his first AB. 1-0. Hunter Parker has now 12 leadoff outs on the season, and this one's going to be over to the right side on the pickoff attempt, and Cam Pearson will get it off of him, and it rolls into foul territory. Moving into scoring position is Freeman. So Parker will have a little talk with the umpire and go back to the mound. Parker gets batters out on 3 pitches or less 51% of the time and has a fielding independence pitching rating of .98. The 1-0 swung on and fouled off of Loomis's face mask. 1 ball and a strike. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 4th will be Lawson, Schmidt, and Pearson. It'll be Kate Phelps returning to the mound. Slight wind here moving in from center field. From left center field here in Larks Park on a 76-degree day. The 1-1, an ugly swing from Kinneberg. Checked it about 3/4 of the way through on a high pitch. And Parker in command. 1-2 count with the runner in scoring position. Loomis gives Parker the signs, gets a first pitch nod, or first sign nod from Parker. Hunter goes from the stretch. Freeman takes off for third. This one will bounce off of Loomis, and stealing was Freeman off of Parker. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third base with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. No score from either side. I think Freeman would have been safe. Anyway, Parker took a little bit of time getting home on that delivery. Now can take as much time as he wants. Could go from the windup even if he chooses to. He has a 2-2 count to Kinneberg. The 2's delivery swung on a miss. Hunter Parker picks up strikeout number 2 on the day and number 17 on the season. Will walk off the mound and sends us to the bottom of the 4th. No score from Hayes, Kansas. Bottom of the 4th. Leading off is the 3-hole shortstop, Cortland Lawson, 0 for on the day with a walk. His first delivery, a slow curveball, catches the zone 0-1 to the shortstop, originally from Virginia. Lawson had played 2 games prior to this one, now has 4 hits on the season and 4 walks. This one will bounce off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike, with Phelps on the mound for his 4th inning. Has struck out 2 through 3 innings and has retired 7 straight Larks. The second look at Lawson, the 1-1 delivery from the southpaw from the stretch. Inside 2-1. Good crowd at Larks Park tonight. Good turnout on this fine Monday evening in Hays, Kansas. Several hundred people here, not as many as were here on previous nights, but still a great turnout. Community backs Larks well, and you know it's a great environment at the park tonight. 2-2 after Lawson gets this strike on him. Lawson batted .357 at Tennessee this year. His 2-2 delivery swung on a miss on an off speed, and he's down on strikes for the 2nd time this season. Takes us to Grant Schmidt.
Number 21, Grant Schmidt.
Strikeout number 3 on the day for Phelps, number 14 on the season. Takes it to Schmidt. Schmidt singled in the first inning, advanced Lawson to 3rd, and a ground out ended the inning. Schmidt leads the team in home runs with 6, has 17 runs driven in and 15 runs scored from himself. Batting .345, his first delivery and off speed at the letters. Calling strike 1 with 1 away in the bottom of the 4th inning. Neither team has scored. Each team has gotten a run into 3rd, and Hays has 2 base runners totally in this game. Junction City just got their first and only one in the top of this inning. Schmidt sends this one on a pop fly over to the left side. Grant and Allman drift back, and they both get called off by Essig, who makes the catch for out number 2. I think he thought it was out number 3 the way he was running to the infield, but regardless, Grant Schmidt has now gone 1 for 2 in the day, and we go to Cam Pearson.
Cam Pearson.
Pearson 0 for 1 the day, grounding out to Stewart in his first and only at bat. Cam has 24 hits this year, 18 singles, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 17 runs driven in and just as many scored. Takes a first pitch fastball high and outside from Phelps, 1-0. Phelps threw strikes on 72% of the pitches coming into this game, and today has thrown strikes on 56%. It's this one in the zone, 1-1. Shown 3 2/3, 3 strikeouts, a walk, and 1 hit. Each team has a hit. Hays has 1 error. Junction has 1 error. No errors. Delivery over the outside part of the plate. Called strike 2 on Cam Pearson. Due up in the 5th inning for Junction will be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Essig, Howard, and Jones. This one's grounded 1 at the knees, and Graft picks it up and will record out number 3 on the throw to Freeman. 10 straight Larks have been retired. That's their 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. Phelps and Parker all in a groove on the mound. We go to the 5th. Hays and Junction tied 0-0. Top of the fifth, we go here in Hays, Kansas. Chase Essig will lead it off for Junction. He's known for one day with a ground out to Cortland Lawson. This has been the fastest paced game of the season for the Larks. The first delivery of the fifth is popped backwards and out of play. No balls and a strike as it goes over the grandstand and into the parking lot. Due up for Junction is, after Essig, is Howard, Jones, and Stewart. A combined 0 for 3 from those next three. Fastball above the letters, 1 ball and 1 strike. Parker has gone 4 innings strong, allowed 2 hits and no walks. 1 hit, no walks, no runs, and 1 runner left on base. 1-1 becomes 1-2 as this one is fouled back. And Hunter Parker looking for strikeout number 3 today. Infield and outfield straight up here for the 1-2 delivery. Parker from the windup was throwing all stretch during warm-ups. And the 1-2 is going to be punched out. And Parker struck out back-to-back Brigades. And there's one away in the top of the fifth. Loomis knew right as it hit the glove and started to throw around the horn. Essig was still waiting on the call, but now Hunter Parker has struck out 3 through 4 1/3. Grant Howard to the dish. He grounded out to Pearson to end this top of the second inning in his first AB. Breeze dying off here. Still a slight one coming in from left center field. This first pitch, stepping back, is Howard. He sends it to right center. Running for to Zach Henry on a sprint. Calls off Dylan Drowling and will make out number 2 in right center field. 2 up, 2 down, 3 straight Brigades have been retired, and there's 2 away, bases empty in the top of the fifth, and a tie game at 0. Just saw Trey Riggs, sporting that number 6 jersey, make his way to the pin. Should see him later in this game, but I wouldn't want to take Hunter Parker out if I'm Keith Harper or Frank Leo anytime soon. We'll see Riggs, Castellucci, Velasquez, and then Brown. So they have 4 other guys to go, so maybe they will shut Parker down here after 5 innings. But he has an 0-1 count against Jones, who's flown out to Grant Schmidt. Now he's an 0-2 count. Parker absolutely destroying Junction's order on the mound right now. Has allowed just 1 hit, 1 base runner, and the 0-2 delivery inside off of Loomis's glove and to the backstop, 1-2. Neither team has had much success at the plate. Each team has struck out 3 times and has just 1 hit. Larks have 2 runners put on base today. As for Junction, they have 1 runner put on base. The 1-2 home swung on a miss. Parker strikes out 2, has struck out 3 of his last 4, and goes back to the dugout with the McGregor walk, and sends us to the bottom of the fifth. No score from Hays, Kansas. Bottom of the fifth, Palmer Hutchison will lead off after Hunter Parker strikes out 2 in the 5th inning. on a 1-2-3. It was his fourth 1-2-3 inning of the day, has faced just one over the minimum through his first 5 innings. We got a few guys now in the pen. Trey Ray's starting to get loose, but I want Parker back out for the 6th inning the way he's been thrown today. 1 ball and 1 strike to Palmer Hutchison with the bases empty. No score here from either side. Phelps in his 5th inning of work gets an off-speed. Hutchison swings at it, tips into the glove of Howard, and he has a 1-2 count. Larks fans, make sure to follow Larks on Twitter at HayesLarksBB. And you'll get updates of scoring plays and finals and other news. And then like the Larks on Facebook to communicate with other Larks fans and see all the great community events and see what's coming up. And then subscribe on YouTube. It's free. Hit the notification bell. You'll get notified each time we go live. You'll stay up to date with all things Larks baseball all summer long. The 2-2 count to Palmer Hutchison, who's 0 for on the day, was Phelps' first strikeout picked up back in the 2nd inning. Since then, Phelps has gotten 2 additional strikeouts, and the count will stay 2-2, and we'll get a 6th pitch to Palmer Hutchison. Phelps in his last year of high school pitched 31 innings, struck out 45, and allowed 23 hits. Hutchison takes this one oppo, and it's out of play.
Please do not scale the fence along the right field line to get the baseballs. It is a restricted area for your safety. Thank you.
PA announcer comes on, and as kids started to run to get the foul ball, even though that's part of the stadium is blocked off here at Larks Park. We've had a lot of issues with stuff like that this season. The 2-2 grounded to Graft at shortstop, and the throw to first base is wide of Freeman. Hutchison will round the bag. Backing up the throw is Howard, and he will throw to second. Palmer Hutchison does a nice slide, double taps his foot over the glove of Stewart, and is safe at second on the E6. And just like that, the Larks have their first runner in scoring position since the first inning. A great slide from the Blue Devil at KCK. First error of the game from Junction. Each team has an error and a hit. That takes us to Tyler Palmer, his second at-bat back. Went 0 for 1 previous in this game with a strikeout in the 2nd inning. As part of that back-to-back strikeout, 1-2-3 2nd inning for Cade Phelps. Palmer this year batting .400 and has an OPS of 1.025. His first delivery home with the other Palmer at second base, Palmer Hutchison, is fouled off 0-1. Defensively, we'll check that out after that error. It's Essig in left field by Swanger in center. Jones in right field. Freeman at first. Stewart at second. Graft, the shortstop, Allman at third, and Howard behind the dish. The 0-1 grounded early over the left side, 0-2. It's game 1 of a 1-game stand against Junction City. The two teams will meet up again next Wednesday, the 7th of July, in Junction to complete the 2-game. Larks will have 2 days off tomorrow and then Wednesday, and we'll go to Colorado for 4 games, have Monday off, then have 2 games. 1 against the Cannons in Wichita and 1 against Junction in Junction. Play the Cannons actually in Augusta, just outside of Wichita. And then after that, it'll be 16 straight home games to round out the season. And Tyler Palmer is out number 1 of this inning. Takes us to Dylan Dreiling, who flew out to Beiswanger to end the 2nd inning. When pitchers aren't allowing guys on base, the game sure does move quick. Still not even hit the hour mark since first pitch. We're at 57 minutes. To drop third strike in Palmer. Tyler Palmer is down on strikes for the 2nd time today. 1-0 count to Dylan Dreiling, tonight's beverage batter. If you're new to Larks baseball, I've talked about it the past couple days, brought up what it is, but I've talked about it all season, but we keep getting new people watching the stream, so I'll bring it up again. If Dylan Dreiling gets a hit, he'll give all the fans at Larks Park a half-price beverage at the Larks Next or the concession stand that are at the ballpark tonight for the remainder of the bottom of the 5th inning. Cortland Lawson did it 3 times on Friday. The fans loved him in his Larks debut, especially because one of those hits was a grand slam. 3 hits, 3 extra base hits for Lawson in his debut. He will be coming up after Loomis, Jackson, and Henry. 2-1 to Dreiling. So going to get his first hit of the day and bring home Palmer Hutchison. Hutchison in scoring position. He has scored 12 runs this season. Dylan Dreiling has brought home 10 runs. The 2-1 to Dreiling is inside. They'll check down to second. Graft had to make a late adjustment as the throw was going to hit him if he stood at shortstop. As he was run to second, had to reach back across his body, and it tips off his glove, rolls to the grass, but Stewart is there to keep Hutchison at second. Hitters count to the right fielder. The 3-1 just caught the inside part of the plate. Full count for Dylan Dreiling. Brock Loomis on deck with Cord Jackson in the hole. Larks have gotten 3 runners on base today, 1 off a walk, 1 off a single, and 1 off of an error. No wind here now, and all balls hit over the fence will be genuine ones. We get a payoff pitch to Dreiling from the southpaw. It's a slider that Dreiling reaches for and sends it to the third base side. Graft and Allman move towards it. It's the shortstop Graft that makes the catch in the infield. The second time Dylan Dreiling will be down today. Runner at second with 2 ways. We go to the bottom of the order. Brock Loomis, who flew out to Beiswanger in the 3rd inning. Jackson on deck with Henry in the hole. If the Larks need them, Brock Loomis going to make sure they do here. It's his second look at his teammate Phelps from Butler on the day. Sends this one over to the right side on a pop-up, and it's right at Stewart. He makes the catch. Larks get a runner at second base with nobody else, but can advance Palmer Hutchison home. And that'll end the 5th inning. No score as we go to the 6th from Hayes, Kansas. Top of the sixth, new pitcher into the game is Trey Riggs for A's. A questionable decision to pull. Hunter Parker goes 5 innings on just 45 pitches. I know it's summer ball and we're trying to get guys reps, but when you go 5 innings on 45 pitches and allow just 1 hit and strike out 4, no other base runners, I think you should stay on the mound for a little bit longer. That's Parker's best outing of the year, and leading it off against Trey Riggs is Jay Stewart, 0 for the day, grounding out to Palmer Hutchison. Riggs has had his struggles this season, has an ERA of 15.88 through 5 2/3. Started 1 game, is 0-1 on the year, has allowed 15 hits, 10 earned runs, 8 walks, 6 strikeouts for the righty from DC3. The 0-1 is swung on and fouled off, 0-2 to Stewart, the second baseman. Trey Riggs is from Hays, Kansas. He's a 6-foot freshman that played at Dodge City Community College. This 2021 freshman season made 13 appearances, went 0-1, striking out 15, and had a strikeout per 9 innings rate of 7.23. His teammate from Hays High, Brock Loomis, gives him the signs, and Riggs will go home. The 0-2 delivery to the 8-hole with the second baseman. Nice slider, runs from the inside corner to the low bottom outside corner, and it just misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the second baseman. Stewart from Barton CC. JUCO versus JUCO in Kansas at the mound and at the box right now. 2-2 as this one misses the zone. Riggs, this is his 3rd summer putting on a Larks uniform. Appeared in 1 game in 2019, late in the season when the Larks had a lot of injuries. That was after he just graduated high school. And then in 2020, last year, had 9 appearances, went 1-1, and he picks up his first strikeout of the day after Hunter Parker strikes out 4. And that is 5 straight Brigades retired. 4 of the last 5 have been retired on strikes. Stewart now 0 for 2 in the day, and there is 1 away. For Trey Riggs, that is strikeout and number 6 this season. It takes the bottom of the order. Thomas Beiswanger, his first delivery from Trey, missed the zone 1-0. So it's a day for Parker, and it was a great one with his family in town to watch him pitch in Hays. 2-0 is the count to Beiswanger, a center fielder from Northwestern Oklahoma State. Riggs looks home. Loomis sets up down the middle. The 2-0 delivery from Riggs. Outside 3-0. So a tough situation now for Trey Riggs. Not looking to pick up and allow his 9th walk of the season. Nobody in the pen for Junction. This one right down the middle, taking all the way, is Beiswanger. We'll see Max Castellucci and then Jose Velasquez after Riggs. That's the order for tonight's pitchers. Inside, caught the plate. Nice pitch from Riggs after being down 3-0 on the mound. Has now a full count against Beiswanger, and we will get a payoff pitch. Righty versus righty. Loomis down the middle. Gives him the signs. The payoff pitch. Curveball misses just outside. It was a pitch with a beautiful movement on it. Couldn't get a swing out of Beiswanger. And that is walk number 9 allowed this season. And Beiswanger is aboard for the first time today, and we go to the top of the order.
The shortstop, number 7, Cade Graff.
Just the second base runner of the day for Junction through 5 1/3. Beiswanger just walked for the 13th time. That brings us to Cade Graff over to the day with a pop-up and a ground out. He's batting .329 this year. Sends a first pitch over to the right side. Pearson chases into foul territory and will reach the ground over the wall and out of play. No balls and a strike to Graff, the shortstop. He has an on-base percentage of .443 with a slugging above .500. 24 hits, none today. 15 singles, 5 doubles, a triple, and 3 long balls. No balls and 1 strike. Riggs looks home and will look to get a double play here. Cord Jackson playing closer to the second base bag than previously, looking to turn 2. Swan over to the left-hander's batter's box. Loomis blocks it and looks by Swanger back to first base. 1 ball and a strike with 1 away in the top of the 6th. 0-0 ball game between the Larks and the Brigade. It's a great Monday night for some baseball, and we've been treated to a pitcher's duel. The 1-1 runner takes off. Loomis throws to second. It's going to be wide of the bag and not in time. And that's a second stolen base on the day for Junction, and they have a runner in scoring position for the first time since the 4th inning. That's just their second base runner and their second one that gets into scoring position. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count now with 1 away. Double play off the table now. Loomis gives his signs to Riggs. He looks at Beiswanger, who reduces his lead. Riggs looks at him again and goes home. Curveball cranked to left field. Grant Schmidt runs in, fields it at his waist. The runner's going to be held up at third, and there's runners on the corners with 1 away. The first hit since the 4th inning, and there's 2 on with 1 out. So Riggs has had his struggles this year and had some struggles with the Larks last year. Had a whip above 2 and an ERA of 8.25.
The third baseman, number 14.
Has allowed 2 straight base runners after striking out Stewart. Larks 12-3. 13-3. And this one goes low. Loomis blocks it. Starting to run was Graft. He probably should have gone, as Loomis wasn't going to be able to throw him out after that. He goes back to first base, and there's a 1-0 count. One and 0. He looks over his left shoulder. And that's Graft. Beiswanger in third, Graft at first. This delivery misses the zone, 2-0. And maybe the Larks are starting to question their decision of pulling Hunter Parker. He will finish his day without a decision, since the game was tied when he left the field. The 2-0 home, a slider outside. 3 balls and no strikes. And getting warm in the pen, I believe, is Max Castellucci. Riggs looks at Graft and goes home with this one way high. It's a 4-pitch walk, his second walk in 3 batters, and has allowed 3 straight base runners. And the bases are loaded. And Keith Harper will come out of the dugout and have a chat with Trey Riggs and by Max Castellucci a little bit of time. We'll take a quick pause and be back on Larks Network. Top of the 6th, base is loaded with just 1 away as Gus Freeman, the former Lark, comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 in the day, and his first pitch from his former teammate Trey Riggs is lined past a diving Cortland Lawson. It's going to score 1, and the throw is going to be bobbled by Zach Henry before he can throw it, and the lead is blown, and the Larks are down by 2. 4 straight base runners, 2 hits, 2 walks for the Brigade, and scoring is Graft and Beiswanger. Picking up 2 RBIs is Gus Freeman on one swing of the bat, and Hunter Parker's day is all for nothing right now. 2 on, 1 out in the top of the 6th. I questioned the decision to pull Parker early, and I think it might have been a good judgment. This one's popped over to the right side. Corey Jackson and Cam Parison run towards it. Not much communication between them, but Cam Parison will record out number 2. It brings up Jace Essig to the dish. He's 0 for 2 in the day. Both appearances against Hunter Parker. He's the 7th hitter of the inning for Junction. Riggs has now thrown 20 pitches, 9 of those strikes. Started off 3 batters with the first pitch strike. First delivery of fastball inside, 1-0 count to Essig. Essig, the left fielder, out of Emporia State. This one's grounded between Lawson and Hutchison, and the throw home from Schmidt is a good one, but holding the runners is head coach of the Brigade, Brandon Bacher. That's the 3rd hit of the inning, their 5th base runner. And the bases are loaded again with 2 outs. For Gus Freeman on one swing of the bat, picks up RBIs number 9 and 10 this season. Beiswanger scores for the 9th time this year, and Graft scores for the 22nd time this season. That leads the team. And Keith Harper is going to come out and pull Trey Riggs, and we will see Max Castellucci come to the game for the Larks. After Hunter Parker goes 5 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts, Trey Riggs comes in, throws 2/3 of an innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, and a strikeout. Max Castellucci into the game for the Larks and allows a first pitch single to Grant Howard. Runners will go from first to third, and everybody else scores. And it's a 4-0 lead now for Junction, and the Larks are falling apart.
The right fielder, number 36, Jackson Jones.
Those runs will count against Riggs. Grant Howard picks up RBIs number on the season, numbers 7 and 8, and brings home Ullman and Freeman. Freeman has 2 RBIs now and a run scored. For Gus Freeman, that is run score number 5, and for Ullman, run score number 18. 2 on, both in scoring position in the top of the 6th. Castellucci goes home, misses outside, 1 ball and a strike to Jackson Jones, the 9th hitter of the inning. This is Castellucci's 5th appearance of the season. Has gone 4 2/3, no record, no starts, and gets a ground ball over the right side and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 hits allowed this year, but walks have been the issue for Castellucci. Has walked 8 and struck out 4, hit 2 batters, 7 earned runs on the season. Has a WHIP of 2.36 and an ERA of 13.50. The 1-2 and off speed outside, 2-2. Larks faithful sticking through the 6th inning, 2-2 count, 2 on, 2 outs, and a 4-0 lead. Castellucci misses outside, and we'll have a full count. Nobody moving in the pen for Hayes now, and 1 guy up and stretching in the pen for Junction. Payoff pitch from Castellucci, low and off of Loomis. He loses it for a second and will chase it to the backstop. And scoring from third is Essick. Howard to third, and Jackson Jones will walk. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Pitching has been an issue here in this 5th, and it's in the 6th. And it's a 5-0 ball game. Larks will be getting a new pitcher this week. Another JUCO guy, but he's committed to the University of Nevada. Runner takes off from first. Loomis will pump fake and look the runner back to third. 2 in scoring position, and 0-1 counts here in the 6th inning. Larks down by 5 and due up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to do something will be Jackson, Henry, and Lawson. Larks had the bats to come back, but Phelps has been dynamic on the mound. The 0-1, a fastball in the zone, called strike 2. This is Stewart's 2nd AB of the inning. Struck out in his first one against Trey Riggs, and then since then, there have been 4 hits and 3 walks. The 0-2 home, fastball below the knees, 1-2. Castellucci looks home. The righty from Napa, California will go from the stretch. The 1-2 off speed over the outside part of the plate, and Castellucci will strike out Jackson Jones. Excuse me, that is Jay Stewart. And Stewart is now 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. Larks leave 2 on but allow 5 runs as we go to the bottom of the 6th from Hayes, Kansas. Bottom of the sixth, Cord Jackson, the second baseman, with some very quick hands, lead it off for the Larks, down by 5. Takes a first pitch ball from Phelps as the sun peeks out behind the clouds here in Hayes, Kansas. Henry on deck with Lawson in the home. Jackson comes in this AB 0 for 2 in the day with 2 groundouts, both to Stewart. 1-1 is the count to the second baseman from Ontario. This is Jackson's first start at second base for the Larks. This one's grounded slow to the right side. He could beat the throw. He dives in head first, and they will punch him out. A very close play. I thought he was in safe, but they will say it's a 3-1 ground out. And there's one away with the bases empty in the bottom of the sixth. Takes us to Zach Henry, who's over 2 in the day with a ground out to Graft and a ground out to Stewart. Larks haven't had a hit since the first inning and haven't had a base runner that didn't reach on an error since that first inning. They had 2 on with 2 out and a runner at third base, and they couldn't bring him home. They had Palmer Hutchison at second base in the last inning, and they couldn't bring him home. Could have gave him some momentum, but they've been struggling today and at the plate. And it proved constantly there as Larks could have gotten some momentum, but instead, Junction picks up 5 runs and holds all the momentum. 1 ball and no strikes to Henry. Umpire cleans off the plate. And we'll go here. 1-0 Phelps from the stretch. The southpaw delivers a fastball low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. If we flash it up between innings, be sure to subscribe while you're watching the game if you're signed in on YouTube. If you have a Google account, you can sign in and subscribe on YouTube. It's free, no emails, nothing, no text. All it is it will help us out, and the Larks streams will show up in your subscription box on your YouTube account. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll get notified each time we go live. But subscribing helps us out a ton, and our goal is 1,000 subscribers. Gone up over 120 since we started doing this. We still got some more to go. 3-1 hitters count to Henry, the center fielder out of UTA. Larks will be off tomorrow night and then again off on Wednesday before going to Colorado for 4 games. This one will walk Zach Henry on 5 pitches as the pitch misses low. That's Phelps' first walk since the first inning. He now has allowed 2 on the day and 2 on the season. And coming to the plate is a dangerous hitter trying to get the Larks some momentum. It's Cortland Lawson. Walked for the 4th time in 2 days back in the first inning and then struck out for the 2nd time on the season in the 4th inning. Grant Schmidt on deck with Cam Pearson in the hole for Hayes. Bases umpire moves, and the first delivery to Lawson did catch the outside plate, according to the home plate umpire. 0-1. 1 away, runner on first here in the bottom of the 6th in Hayes, Kansas. Phelps takes a long look at Henry, who has speed, is aggressive, hasn't been thrown out in a while on the base paths, and Lawson has a 1-1 count. Zach this year has stolen 9 bases and been thrown out 3 times. 75% success rate. Just under 75% success rate. Nope, my math is wrong. That is a 75% success rate for Zach Henry. 2-1 to Lawson. Lawson came into this game through 2 games batting .800 with a slugging percentage of .2000 and OPS of 2.875. Two balls and 2 strikes to number 22. And Jose Velasquez is now up in the pen and stretching out his right arm. 5th pitch to Lawson, misses the zone, full count to Cortland. He's driven in 5 runs, scored 4 runs, walked 4 times now, has 4 hits, 2 singles, and 2 home runs. Payoff pitch Ground to the left side. Zach Henry was taken off. It's going to be off of Graf's glove, and Henry rounded second. Howdy sprinted all the way and rounded it immediately. He could have gone to third, but that would have been some bad base running, as we didn't know if Graf was going to get to that one. So he'll go to second, and the Larks have their first hit since the first inning. And Lawson is aboard for the second time today. 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Larks trying to rally. If you put Jose Velasquez back on the mound for the 7th and 8th, Larks got to be confident that they can hold the Brigade to the 5 runs they have. The first delivery to Grant Schmidt, a dangerous hitter, is fouled back 0-1. Schmidt on the day 1 for 2 with a single. And yesterday, Grant went 0 for 3, but walked 2 times and scored 1 of the 3 runs for Hayes. That was the Larks' second loss in 3 games. They're 12-3 on the year, 7-2 in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League. They're tied for first with the Fort Collins Sox. And this one is a non-league game, so it won't hurt the standings. And Larks will look to take a firm hold of first place in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League this Thursday, when they will head down to Denver and play the Rough Riders for 2 games, the Collegians for 2 games, and the Larks will be I'll be streaming those games from Denver. You can catch it right here on Larks Network. This one's going to be a bloop into center field. It's over the jumping Stewarts. Frank Leo holds Henry at third. Each runner advances 90 feet. After a ground out from Jackson, we've had a walk, a single, and another single, and the bases are loaded with 1 away. Larks weren't able to take advantage of runners on base yesterday. They left a ton on base yesterday, but today it's a different story. At the Larks are looking right here in the 6th. The bases are loaded with 1 away, and we'll get a mound visit and maybe a pitching change here on Larks Network.
What we do here is go back.
After the first 5 innings are completed in just under an hour, we've had a long 6th inning. And Junction scored 5 in the top of this inning, and the Larks have loaded the base with 1 away. And after a mound visit between the whole team and 1 pitch, Howard goes back and talks to Phelps. 0-1 count to Cam Pearson from Cochise College, just committed to Fort Hays State pretty recently. And I knew he was going to do it for a while. Had to keep it on the down low, but he made it official in public. Swing and a miss from Pearson, who is 0 for 2 in the day and has an 0-2 count here. Larks have 3 hits, 2 of those in this inning. They picked up 2 walks, 1 in this inning. And Phelps will look home trying to get out Pearson, the Fort Hays State Tiger. The off-speed swung on and missed, and Pearson is down to the dugout for the 3rd time today. Takes this to Palmer Hutchison. He's 0 for 2 in the day, striking out the 2nd, reaching on an error in the 5th. Got to 2nd with no outs, and the Larks couldn't bring him home. And now there's 2 away.
Palmer Hutchison.
He's got the bases loaded, and the Larks need to capitalize on this situation. They haven't the past few days. They did on Friday, scoring 21 runs in 6 innings. They actually scored 21 in their first 5 innings. They batted in the 6th and didn't pick up anything. off speed from Phelps. He sure has thrown a lot of those today. Is off Howard's glove, and it's a 1-0 count. Early RBI opportunity for Palmer Hutchison. He has 9 this season. At third base is Henry. At second is Lawson. And Grant Schmidt is at first base for the Larks. The 1-0 line down the right field line, but it will be off the foul wall. And Schmidt rounds second, heads back to first. Lawson goes back to second, gives some claps and encouragement to Hutchison. And Henry walks down the third base line back to third. 1 ball and a strike with 2 away, and the base is jacked here in the bottom of the 6th. Hayes down by 5, looking to clear the bases and pick up some runs. Lefty versus righty, the 1-1 to Hutchison. Fastball outside. Hutchison commanded the count. 2-1. Tyler Palmer on deck with Dylan Dreiling in the hole for Hayes. Hutchison looking for his first hit of the day. And the 2-1 outside on the fastball. 3-1. Hitters count for number 4. Palmer was a great hitter at KCK this spring. Led the team in runs scored, runs driven in, slugging percentage, and home runs. 19 home runs and slugged above 700. And he will get a strike, too, calling him the Larks faithful. Did not like that call. He had the most RBIs on KCK by 12. He finished with 62. Batted .324, had an OBP pushing .430. 55 hits, 25 walks, 6 stolen bases in 51 games for Palmer Hutchison. The payoff pitch with 2 outs, runners take off, and the ball is fouled off, and we'll get a 7-pitch AB to Hutch. Big situation here for the Larks. Payoff pitch with 2 away, with Junction having a comfortable lead. Let's go. Larks chant breaks out here at Larks Park. And Phelps looks home. The payoff pitch is off the turf, and the runners taking off. Won't matter as they'll each be scored, or not each be scored, but each advance. And Zach Henry scored, and the Larks are on the board for the first time today. Second time in 2 innings, Palmer Hutchison's been aboard. And that's an RBI as Tyler Palmer comes to the dish.
Number 5, Tyler Palmer.
For Palmer Hutchison, that is RBI number 10. And for Zach Henry, that is run scored at number 12. Tyler Palmer to the dish. He's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts against Phelps on off-speed pitches. It is an 0-1 count, trying to capitalize on the situation at hand for the Larks. This is the Larks' last home game until Saturday, July 10th. Phelps looks home, goes home. The 0-1 swung on a miss, the tough cut, and Palmer will have to protect. Palmer Hutchison at first base, Grant Schmidt at second, Cortland Lawson at third for the Hayes Larks. Down by 4, Dylan Dreiling on deck with Loomis in the hole. Phelps in command of the count. Looks to end the 6th inning on this 0-2 delivery. He goes home. It's swung on and outside, but they will say it is a strike, and the Larks leave the bases loaded. And Tyler Palmer upset with himself. Larks trail 5-1 as we go to the 7th inning from Hayes, Kansas.
Okay.
Top of the 7th, Castellucci back to the mound. Leading off is Thomas Beiswanger. He's 0-4 on the day with a walk, a flyout, and a run scored. The first pitch from Castellucci misses the zone, 1-0. No stats available from Mission for Castellucci's 2021 freshman season, but his 2020 freshman season, Castellucci, 2 appearances, went 1-0, 8 walks, 9 strikeouts, had an ERA of 5.40. 2-0 count to the bottom of the order. Center fielder Castellucci goes home, hits ground to Palmer Hutchison, scoops it off the turf, and throws a wild one way past Pearson and out of play. Going to be the second error of the game from the Larks. Palmer Hutchison's first error of the season. So leadoff runner at second. The first leadoff runner of the day for Junction.
Top of the batting order for the Brigade, the shortstop, number 7, Cade Graff.
That's the second time Beiswanger has been aboard today. We go to the top of the order, Cade Graff. Cade's 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a run scored. 5 different Brigade scored in this 6th inning. First pitch from Castellucci, inside corner, called strike 1. Castellucci has now thrown 2/3 of an inning on 17 pitches. Allowed 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. All 5 runs accounted to Trey Riggs' ERA. The 0-2 Castellucci takes a glance at Beiswanger, goes home. It's ground to the left side and will roll foul. Beiswanger will go back to third. Digging back into the right-hander's batter's box is Graff. Allman on deck with Freeman in the hole. Runner takes off for third. It's a strikeout for Castellucci. Junction not scared to attempt stolen bases. Hayes is yet to attempt one today. And there's a runner 90 feet from scoring with the 1 away. Second strikeout on the day for Max Castellucci. And that is number 6 on the season through 5 1/3. At the box now is Bryce Allman. Swing and a miss, and a foul tip on this one. It's from Oral Roberts. Has an 0-1 count against Castellucci. Pops this one out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 away. Runners at third base.
Return them to the Larks nest, courtesy of the Hayes Police Department.
This delivery misses the zone, 1-2. One and 2 count to Allman. 0 for 2 in the day with a walk and a run scored. Castellucci goes home. Off speed, ground to the left side. Hutchison looks at the runner, decides to go to first. Pearson records out number 2. Well played by Hutchison in the hot corner. Jose Velasquez done warming up in the bullpen for Hayes.
The first baseman, number 5, Gus Freeman.
Takes us to Gus Freeman in the 3-hole, 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. 1 scored, 2 RBIs. Last year with the Larks playing in 1 game in the NBC tournament. It was his only game in a Larks uniform. He went 1 for 4 with a double against Cheney in that Larks loss, in which Drew Burr had a dominant outing on the mound, but the Larks lost the lead late in the game. He also reached on a fielder's choice, And that was it for his appearances as a Lark. Want to know to Freeman, who this year for Junction is batting .375. And Brock Loomis will catch this one over the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and a strike after allowing a leadoff base runner. Actually, it wasn't allowed. It was an error, so it won't count against Castellucci if it scored. But still, after having a runner on first, or actually second with nobody out, Castellucci's retired 2 straight. Has a 1-1 count, now a 1-2 count. Paints that outside low corner, and is 1 strike away from sending us to the 7th inning stretch. Larks trying to rally in the 7th. It'll be due up Dreiling and Loomis, the bottom 2, and then back to Core Jackson at the top. Those 3 guys combined for an 0 for 7 in this game. Castellucci looks at the runner. Swanger breaks home, goes back, trying to fool Castellucci and get in his head. Castellucci will get a foul ball to Freeman and will stay 1-2. 8:51 p.m. here in Hays, Kansas, as Castellucci will throw pitch number 5 of this AB. Castellucci has now thrown 26 pitches, 11 strikes, and will punch out Gus Freeman. So after having an unearned runner at second with nobody out, Castellucci gets 3 straight out, 2 on strikes, and picks up strikeouts number 2 and 3 on the day, and numbers 6 and 7 on the season here in the 7th inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch from Hays, Kansas. Hays down by 4, looking to rally. Bottom of the 7th from Hays, Kansas. New pitcher of the game is Tristan Wolf for the Brigade. Leading it off for Hays is Dylan Dreiling. Dreiling on the day. 0 for 2 with a flyout and a pop-up. On deck for Hays is Brock Loomis with Jackson in the hole. Dylan's early on this swings, grounds it right to Freeman, who will tag first base. And that's a 2-pitch out for the Larks. Larks have left 6 on base today, and the base is loaded with just 1 out and only got 1 run out of it. They left 12 on base in yesterday's ball game. 1 away as we go to Brock Loomis. Loomis on the day 0 for 2 with a line out and a flyout. This will be his first look at Tristan Wolf, who's teammates with Trey Riggs for the Larks at Dodge City Community College. 1 pitch to Loomis. It's a 3-pitch and 2 outs. 7th for Tristan Wolf as Loomis will ground out. Loomis now 0 for 3 on the day. We go to the top of the order. Cord Jackson is also 0 for 3. Jackson, 2 ground outs to Stewart, 1 to Freeman. No stats recorded for Tristan Wolf for Dodge City this year. He's a 6'3 freshman from North Glen, Colorado. The righty will go home. Jackson takes this one outside and high, 1-0. 2 away, bases empty in the bottom of the 7th. Hayes down to their final 7 outs, down by 4. Jackson sends this one out of the play over to the left side. 1 ball and a strike. Due up for the Brigade in the 8th inning. Kenneberg, Essig, and Howard. The 1-1 home. Jackson early on the swing grounds this one right at Freeman. And there's 2 ground outs right at Freeman. Larks have struggled against the pitching today for the Brigade. 2 pitchers that have to have slow off speeds have fooled the Larks today. And that is a 1-2-3 inning. Larks trail by 4 as we go to the 8th in Hays, Kansas. Top of the 8th, Jose Velasquez will take over on the mound from Castellucci after a great 7th inning for Castellucci. And this will be Jose's first appearance in a few days, and he has an 0-2 count against Kinenberg. Kinenberg on the day, 0 for 3 with a pop-up, a strikeout, and a flyout. Velasquez, a righty from Phoenix, delivers a fastball, misses the outside low corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the DH. Jose teammates with his first baseman, Cam Pearson, at Cochise, but Cam now committed to Fort Hays. This is Jose's 7th appearance on the mound this year. He has 3 wins on the rubber, and actually has 2 wins. Whoever does the stats for the Larks gave him a win in the game he started. Only went 3 innings. He had to go 5 to pick up an official win. But he's allowed just 1 hit this year. Threw over 10 innings before allowing a hit. 1 hit, 3 walks, 15 strikeouts for the righty from Phoenix. Has a full count to Kinenberg. The payoff pitch from Velasquez swung on and fouled. And we'll get a second payoff pitch and a 7-pitch AB. Velasquez yet to allow an earned run this year. In fact, no runs have scored while he's on the mound. ERA of 0 and a whip of 0.25. Velasquez has been the best reliever for the Larks this season. He was the best reliever at Cochise this year. The payoff pitch misses, and he walks his fourth batter of the season. Leadoff base runner, one away. And the top of the eighth, Junction leading Hayes 5-1. All 6 runs scored in this game happened in the 6th inning. Essig to the dish now. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a single. Was the first pitcher that Max Castellucci faced. This one, he's early on the swing, grounds it over to the left side and foul. Velasquez, 6'3" freshman, went 7-3 for Cochise this year through 26 appearances, led the team in that category, and had the least earned runs on team among pitchers with an average of 1 inning pitched per game. This one will hit off the helmet of Essig, and there is 2 on. That's the 5th batter Velasquez has hit this year. He hit 3 batters in 3 innings against the Roughnecks in his first outing, and then goes 2 appearances without a hitting one, and then hit one on the 19th, and hits number 5 right there. Velasquez will look to not let the runner in scoring position get to him, as Cade Brown is now moving in the pen. 5 hits for Junction. They have 5 runs. And the first delivery to Howard in the zone called strike 1. Velasquez goes home. This one's grounded over the right side, and he's going to let it roll to Pearson. I think he thought it was going to roll foul. Pearson picks it up with his left foot on the bag. Runners advance to 2nd and 3rd, and that's the first out of the 8th inning.
The right fielder, number 36, Jackson Jones.
Kittenberg at 3rd, Essig at 2nd as we go to Jackson Jones, the right fielder. 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout, a foul, and a walk. Do it for the Larks in the bottom of the 8th. 2, 3, and 4. Henry, Lawson, and Schmidt. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Velasquez. 0-1. Jackson Jones from Western Nebraska CC. It's where Lark starter Hunter Parker is alumni of. 1-1. Parker started the game, went 5 innings, a great outing. Without just 1 hit. Trey Ricks came in for the 6th inning through 2/3 of an innings. 5 earned runs, 3 hits. Castellucci came in relief. Finishes his day with 1 1/3 inning, 1 hit allowed, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, no earned runs. And Velasquez has thrown a third of the inning, allowed a walk and a hit by pitch, and has a 1-2 count against the 7th guy in Junction's order. Righty versus lefty, the 1-2 from Velasquez from the stretch. He goes home. It's fouled back and over the grandstand into the parking lot. Lights on here at Larks Park as the Larks trail by 4. They'll be down to their final 6 outs after this half inning. The 1-2 from Velasquez. Just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 1 out, and the 8th. Looks home, shakes off Loomis a couple times. Nods on this one. Loomis sets up down the middle on the 2-2 pitch. Off speed, and the head of it is Jones on the swing. Jose Velasquez picks up strikeouts. Number 16 on the season through 16 2/3. And there's 2 away.
The second baseman, number 2, Chase Stewart.
Two away, 2 on as we go to the 8-hole. Chase Stewart over through the day with 2 strikeouts. One against, actually both against Castellucci. Excuse me, strikeout against Riggs to start the 6th. And then into the 6th, striking out against Max Castellucci. That strikeout right there from Jackson Jones was number 8 of the ball game for Junction at the plate. This one misses the zone, 1-1 counts. Velasquez will step off the rubber and get some chalk and get back on the mound. Stewart, the second baseman from Barton, has a 1-1 count. And Velasquez will throw the third pitch. It's low, 2-1. Velasquez had 3 saves for Cochise this year on a 3.38 ERA. Struck out 57, walked 34, and allowed 54 hits. Had a strikeout per 9 inning rate of 8.74. The 2-1 home, and the zone called strike 2 at the knees of Stewart and Velasquez. 1 strike away from sending us to the bottom half of the 8th. Larks have 2 errors defensively. Junction has just 1. The errors for Hayes haven't been completely costly. Actually, neither of them was costly. There was 1 in the 7th when there was no score, and there was 1 in the 4th when there was no score. 2-2 inside, and we'll have a full count, the second full count of this inning. Velasquez again will get some chalk and get ready to go for the payoff pitch. On deck is Beiswanger. Jose sets up. The payoff pitch home. Outside on a slider. That's his second walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded. Bases loaded 2 ways. We go to the bottom of the order. Thomas Beiswanger.
Thomas Beiswanger.
It's a center fielder. 0 for 2 in the day, with a flyout in the 3rd, and he reached on an error in the 7th inning and walked in the 6th inning. Scored a run in that 6th inning. And Brock Loomis wants to have a chat with Velasquez. So we'll get a first pitch now to Beiswanger. 2-way. Base is empty. This one's grounded to the left side. Cortland Lawson runs in, throws to Pearson, and will get the throw in time. Beiswanger will ground out to Lawson, and that ends the 8th inning. Jose Velasquez works out of a jam and leaves the bases loaded. We go to the bottom half of the 8th. Hayes down by 4 on Larks Network. Bottom of the 8th we go from Hayes, Kansas. Austin Garrity to the mound. And he will replace
Ninth inning for the Larks, center fielder,
Tristan Wolf. Garrity from Barton CC. This is appearance number 5 on the mound this season for him. And the first batter he faces is Zach Henry. Throws a first pitch fastball over the outside part of the plate. 0-1 to the center fielder out of UTA. Larks down to their final 6 outs. They're going to make up 4 runs at least in order to put themselves in a position to not lose 3 of their last 4. Henry flies this one out of play over to the left side. No balls and 2 strikes. Do it for Hayes will be Lawson and Schmidt after Henry, and then Pearson if need be. And with the way Lawson is hitting, it sure would look like Pearson will need to come up. Off-speed curveball way outside, 1-2. Zach Henry, a 6-foot freshman out of UTA, originally from Rockwall, Texas. And has a 1-2 count against Garrity. Another outside delivery, 2-2. Garrity this year has made now 5 appearances on the mound, all in relief. 11 innings pitched, 1 save. That was against Sabatha. Has allowed 9 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 walks, 15 strikeouts, and has hit 8 batters, and he will get Henry to go down on strikes. Strikeout number 16 on the season for Garrity on the mound. And Zach Henry, who had a strikeout issue early on the season, goes a while without getting one, and right there picks up strikeout number 14 in the batter's box. That's the third most on the team. Now we'll go to Cortland Lawson, who struck out in the fourth inning, but other than that has a single and a walk. First delivery to the Tennessee shortstop, outside 1-0. Lawson had a great debut on Friday. I've talked about it a lot, but it's one worth talking about. 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and had 5 RBIs and scored 3 times. He sends this one to right center field. It's going to drop as Beiswanger is back to the base paths. It bounces off the warning track, and Lawson heads to third. The throw is not going to be in time, and Cortland Lawson has his 4th extra base hit, 3rd extra base hit of the season. It's a triple. Now has 5 hits on the year, 2 home runs, 2 singles, and a triple. And there is a runner in scoring position with 1 away as we go to Grant Schmidt. And Lawson is now 2 for 3 on the day.
The left fielder, Grant Schmidt.
Could the Larks rally here? They certainly have the talent to do so. But they've left 6 runners on base and 18 runners on base in the last 2 games. This one's going to be bloop over the left side, and Graft will get under it and record the pop-up catch. A great swing from Schmidt. Just didn't get the contact he wanted, and there's now 2 away as we go to Cam Pearson, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Struck out looking on a off-speed pitch in the 6th inning. Grounded out to Graft in the 4th inning, and grounded out to Stewart in the 1st inning. He's one of 7 Larks who are hitless in this game. The 4 hits have come from Lawson and Schmidt. Each person has 2. Pearson now down the count, fouling this one off. 0-2. Larks down to their final 4 outs, down by 4. Lawson creeps down the third base line. Garrity goes home. Cam Pearson grounds this one right at Stewart, retreats into the grass and throws to first. Larks leave a runner at third base, and they trail by 4 as they move to the 9th in Hayes, Kansas. Top of the ninth, Cade Brown to the mound, taking over from Jose Velasquez. This is pitcher number 5 of the ball game for the Larks, and he fires in a first pitch foul ball. To the top of the order, Cade Graft. He's 1 for 4 today with a single and a run scored. This is Brown's 6th appearance on the mound this year. Has thrown 5 1/3 innings. He's 1-0 on the year. And has allowed 7 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1 batter, struck out 10. And he's ready to go here, 0-2. Through 1 2/3 innings against the Roughnecks in his first appearance, faced 5 batters and threw 5 strikeouts. Just was dominant in that outing. And was pretty dominant in his next 2, allowed 2 hits over the course of those 2 games, struck out 3. And then had 1 earned run in outing number 4 against the Cougars, and then in outing number 5, 2 earned runs in relief and extra innings in the 11-5 loss against the Collegians in 12 innings. 11 innings. The 0-2 home, fastball outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Larks down by 4 here in the top of the 9th. Loomis sets up down the middle, and Brown goes home from the stretch. Swing and a miss. It's off of Loomis. He'll check down to first, and Pearson records out number 1. It's another strikeout for Cade Brown, a number 11 on the season through 5 2/3, and there's 1 away in the top of the 9th.
The third baseman, number 14, Price Ullman.
That takes us to Price Ullman, the 2-hole. Is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Cade Brown will go from the stretch and gets a swing and a miss on another fastball. No balls and a strike to Ullman. Went 0-2 against Hunter Parker and then walked against Trey Riggs and grounded out against Max Castellucci. I've seen all the pitchers except Velasquez that have thrown in this one. Velasquez finishes his day with 1 inning pitched, strikes out 1 batter, allows 2 walks, had the bases loaded, and got out of the jam. The 1-1 from Cade Brown is at the knees, call strike 2, and unhappy with the call is Ullman. He'll have to protect the dish. Freeman on deck with Kinneberg in the hole for Junction City. Brown again will go from the stretch. And this one will miss the zone, lone outside, 2-2. Cade Brown from California played at San Diego for a year before transferring to OU. He's from Cardiff, California. Redshirted this year for the Oklahoma Sooners. And the 6'4 righty has a 2-2 count with 1 away and the bases empty in the top of the 9th. Hayes down by 4. He goes home. It's off of Loomis into the backstop, and a full count is now at hand. 2 for the Larks, trying to score 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th will be Hutchison, Palmer, and Dreiling. Loomis gives Brown the side. Cade Brown gives Loomis a nod, and we'll go home. The payoff pitch home. Fastball just misses low, and it is a walk, and there is 1 aboard. At first base with 1 away. That brings us to Gus Freeman. Freeman on the day 2 for 4 with 2 singles, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. For Cade Brown, that is walk allowed number 2 this season, his second in his last 2 appearances. Went his first 4 2/3 without allowing a walk. 1 away. Kinneberg at the plate. This one way outside, 1-0 to the DH. Kinneberg led off the 8th with the walk. He got to 3rd, and Velasquez kept him there. Other than that, he's 0 for 3 with a pop-up, a strikeout, and a flyout. 1-0, 1 away. Brown goes home. Swung on and missed. 1-1 counts. As the Larks will try to turn a double play here and get out of this 9th inning and bring the bats to the dish. A lot of the normal starters in the Larks lineup not there tonight. No Leo Geminian, no Grant Long, no Matt Kavanaugh, no Sam Crowell either, no Brady Evans, no Wyatt Divis either. A lot of Larks that normally start not appearing in this game. And that has been maybe part of the issue of why the Larks haven't put as much runs up as they have tonight. But there's still a ton of talent on the baseball field for Hayes. I mean, tonight, 1 through 9, all talented guys. But it's a lot of guys getting an off night, and the Larks are down by 4. 1-2 counts to Gus Freeman. Cade Brown, another guy who's been a great hitter for the Larks this year, not in the lineup. And no pickup strikeout number 2 today. Freeman back to the box. Not happy with that call, and we'll take his time going back. Making a statement here. He's now struck out looking in his past 2 at-bats. Two ways we go to Joseph Kinneberg. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. It's Gus Freeman. This is Joseph Kinneberg. 1-0 to Kinneberg. Essig on deck with Howard in the hole. Junction has 5 hits. Hayes has 4. Hayes has 2 errors. Junction has just 1. Runner at first with 2 away. The 1-0 count. A curveball from Cade Brown. Nicely placed in the zone. 1 ball and a strike to the DH. Larks lost last night. Looking to not drop consecutive games for the first time this season. And the runner takes off from first. The throw from Loomis has slid in safely. Takes out the feet of Core Jackson, and Jackson appears to be okay. Brock Loomis yet to throw out a stealing runner this season. 1-2 with 2 away. Runner in scoring position now in the top of the 9th. But Cade Brown 1 strike away from ending this defensive inning. Righty versus righty. Brown goes home. The 1-2. Swung and miss. Cade Brown strikes out 3 in the 9th. And now has a total of 13 strikeouts on the season. Larks trying around here in the bottom of the 9th. They're down by 4.
Meet me down at the ballpark, where I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. All of my friends are gonna be there too. Nothing in the world I'd rather do than grab a hot dog burger and a cold beer. You'll hear me yelling out a big cheer, 'cause whether they win or whether they lose, I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. I can't wait to see a home run. I know for sure there's gonna be one. I'll call out the players by their first name. Sure am glad I made it to the game. Rain or shine, I'm gonna be there. If the stands are full, I'll bring a lawn chair. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks! So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks!
Bottom of the 9th, Hayes down by 4. Coming to the plate is number 4, Palmer Hutchison, the third baseman. Hutch on the day, 0 for 2, has reached on an error and a strikeout, and struck out in the second, reached on a walk, and now will reach on a hit by pitch. Garrity back to the mound for the 9th, and the Larks put the first runner aboard. That is their second leadoff runner today, and it's Hutchison again. And pinch hitting for Tyler Palmer will be Leo Geminian.
Tennessee State, number 8, Leo Geminian.
So Tyler Palmer finished his day with a hat trick, 0 for 3 in his first game back with 3 strikeouts. Runner at first, nobody out. And the bottom of the ninth, Hayes down by 4, trying to rally. We got Dylan Dreiling on deck and Brock Loomis in the hole. First delivery to Leo Jiminian, a slider, catches the inside part of the plate, 0-1. Jiminian hitting .242 this season with an on-base percentage under 300. Has 14 RBIs, 15 runs scored, and takes this one high and inside, 1-1. Leo in yesterday's ballgame batted ninth, went 1 for 4 with 1 run driven in. Struck out 2 times. Hutchison with a small lead at first. Jiminian grounds this one to this third base coach, Frank Leo. Fields it and tosses it to the dugout. 1-2 count now to the French center fielder, or now the French DH now. Have to protect the plate. Tying run is in the hole, and this one is going to hit Jiminian. Garrity has hit 2 batters, and there is 2 on with nobody out. Tying run comes to the on-deck circle. Hutchison at second, Jiminian at first base. Larks have already pulled off one great comeback this season. They were down 11-1 against the Game Day Saints. Won 18-16 in 12 innings. Can they pull off another one tonight? Out of the dugout is head coach Brandon Bacher as Dylan Dreiling will come to the dish. And we'll take a quick pause and be right back for the continuation of the bottom of the ninth in Hayes, Kansas. Austin Garrity hits consecutive batters, has now hit 10 on the season through 12 innings on the mound. And there is 2 on with nobody out for Dylan Dreiling. Dreiling on the day 0 for 3. He's due for a hit. The talented lefty started out his season hot and came into this game batting .381 with an on-base percentage at .500. Takes a first pitch ball from Garrity, 1-0. Nobody moving in the pen for Junction. They're looking to keep Garrity out there. Garrity from Barton CC. He's a righty. And it's down to the count against Dylan Dreiling, the lefty. This delivery just outside. Good take from the junior, now senior in high school. Garrity from Seneca, Kansas. Played at Nemaha Valley before going to Barton as a righty. Stands at 6 foot. Dylan Dreiling will chop this one up the middle. They'll toss it to second for 1 and check over at third. Hutchison grabs third base, and Jiminian is out, and there's runners on the corners now with 1 away as Dylan Dreiling will reach on a fielder's choice. So they remove one of the fastest guys in all of Kansas Summer League baseball from the base paths. And Dylan Dreiling is a 5-tool player with speed on the base paths. And coming up to try and advance him is Brock Loomis. Loomis also due for a hit, 0 for 3 on the day. Garrity in his career at Barton, 10 appearances, ERA of 1.98. This year for Barton, made 4 appearances, no earned runs, went 0-0 in 1 starts, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, and it gets Loomis to tip this one in the glove of Howard. Loomis down the count, 0-1. Larks have 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches, 1 run, and 7 runners left on base. They left 12 on base yesterday. They left 3 on base today in the 6th inning alone. Loomis swings above this one and is down the count 0-2, and Garrity looking to bounce back. Jackson on deck for Hayes with Henry in the hole. Loomis, this fastball way outside. It's off the glove of Howard. He slides forward. Dylan Dreiling not want to risk anything since he would be run number 3 with only 1 out. stays at first base. 1 and 2. Hutchison at third. Dylan Dreiling at first base. Brock Loomis at the plate. 3 Hayes Larks from Hayes, Kansas, representing the team right here in the bottom of the ninth. All played at Hayes High School for 1 year together. Loomis was a junior. Dreiling was a freshman. Hutchison was a senior. And Brock Loomis will go down on strikes, and he's finishing his day 0 for 4. And there's 2 away as we go to the top of the order. Core Jackson, who's 0 for 4 in the day. A lot of 0-fers for the Larks today. The only 2 guys have hits in this ballgame. It's Grant Schmidt and Cortland Lawson, each with 2 hits. Yesterday was a pretty disappointing game for the Larks, and the first 8 and 2/3 for Hayes at the plate have been very disappointing, only putting up 1 run. 7 guys hitless, and Jackson looking to get his first hit of the day. Takes a strike over the outside part of the plate, 0-1 to the shortstop from the second baseman from Ontario. So used to him playing shortstop, this is his first start at second. The 5'11 freshman digs back into the left-hander's batter's box versus Garrity. Garrity steps way off the rubber, throws wide as his foot goes wide, puts his hands up like he didn't know what happened, and has a 1-1 count against Jackson. Jackson, our RBI opportunity, has 10 on the season, has scored 20 times himself, and has a 2-1 count. So runners will get their lead. It's a 2-1 count to Jackson. Garrity gets up, gets it up, looks home, delivers. It's swung on and fouled over the grandstand, and now there is 2 strikes on Core. Jackson headed to Nebraska when he completes this summer with the Larks. So on the Canadian Junior National Team, was a 2-time Ontario Baseball Association champion. And looking to continue this game in Hayes, Kansas right here. The 2-2 delivery with 2-way runners on the corners. Dreiling takes off the throw home. The pitch is inside at the feet of Jackson. And Dreiling steals another base on his season. There's runners in scoring position with 2 outs and a full count. For Dylan Dreiling, that is stolen base number 4 this year. The payoff pitch with 2-away, swung on and missed. And shaking the hand of the umpire is Howard. And he will go and congratulate Garrity as the Junction City Brigades will celebrate on the Larks field. Larks lose it 5-1 in this game. They leave 9 guys on base, and that's been killer. They left 21 runners on the base in the past 2 days. They scored just 1 run to get 4 hits, 2 from each Schmidt and Lawson. Pick up 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches. As for Brigade, 5 hits, 6 walks, 5 runs, and they leave 9 on base. Losing pitcher will be Trey Riggs after a masterful first 5 innings from Hunter Parker. He gets pulled in a questionable decision that ended up costing the Larks a win. And he goes 5 innings, 45 pitches, 1 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts. Riggs throws 2/3 of an inning, 5 earned runs. Castellucci comes in for an inning and a third. No earned runs from him, Velasquez, or Cade Brown, who combined to throw the final 3 1/3 innings. Larks lose 2 straight, the first time they lost back-to-back games this season. They'll still be in first place in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, tied with the Fort Collins Foxes, as this was a non-league game. They'll be off tomorrow night and Wednesday night, but you can be sure to watch the game this Thursday when the Larks play the Roughnecks in Colorado. You can catch it right here on Larks Network. As for tonight, this has been Carson Ackerman. Thank you for tuning in. As the Larks lose 5-1, have a great night, and we'll see you Thursday.